How to not suck at Team Fortress 2. It's the official guide. Hey guys, so the other script I've been working on has been taking a minute way too long, so to keep up with promises, here's this video. I think after the lack of positive feedback last episode, that making, at least in my opinion, a good, well thought out and relatively reasonable explanation as to why something sucks is not a good way to get people to like you. Alright. So this time around, instead of arguing why you shouldn't like something, I'm going to argue why you should. And I'm going to try to not do the voice. Emphasis on try.
What's the fuck, you think? This shit is nice. I like phone going down and I like chicken dinner.
It's going to be a hard habit to break. So before we start, I'm going to explain really quick what Team Fortress 2 is. The dynamic of classes, and why right now, in my opinion, it's the best time to get into it. Team Fortress 2 is a class-based shooter where you pick one of 9 different classes, work with your team to achieve whatever goal the map gives. Whether it's pushing a payload to your enemy's base, defending a point from the opposite team, or trying to steal the opponent's intelligence. Everybody hates capture the flag though, so only go on 2 Fort and Turbine if you want to waste several hours of your life. Kinda like how I have. Fun fact, some people have way more hours logged. Just why? The 9 classes you can choose from is split up into 3 categories: attack, defense, and support. Attack is meant to push and keep pressure on the opposite team, while defense is meant to protect whatever objective you have to protect, and support is either medic or the 2 pick classes. All 3 of which aren't exactly the best in head-to-head combat, but with a good team to back you up, using your class's weapons and tools, you can greatly assist in your team's cause. Starting off, don't pick the harder learning curve classes. Anyone can tell you that some classes are harder to get than others, but in my educated opinion, it goes something like this. Best classes for new people. You got the S tier with the medic, the A tier with the scout soldier and heavy, the B tier with the pyro sniper demo, and the C tier, also known as the hardest to grasp, engineer and spy. Is this your first time playing Team Fortress 2? You saw this free-to-play multiplayer game when you logged into Steam and you thought, hey, that looks good, only to find yourself for the first time glancing at that sexy pick screen thinking to yourself, wow, who do I pick? I remember my first time. I picked spy and got kicked. If it's your first time playing Team Fortress 2, pick medic. For starters, everyone loves a good medic, and it's the best class to observe other seasoned players with. Starting off, you're gonna find if you overextend and stray too far from your team, you're gonna drop pretty quickly. Medics have a syringe gun that's kinda weak, but if you master the arc of your needles, you'll be good. And a bone saw if you really wanna cut someone. But a good medic's bread and butter is their medigun. You can overheal your teammates, making them harder to kill, and through healing, you're able to build something called an Uber. Ubering is a huge mechanic, especially in competitive. It makes you and whoever you're healing invincible for 8 precious seconds. This has the potential to devastate the enemy team if you're paired with somebody that's skilled enough to do so. There's also different kinds of Ubers that come from different kinds of mediguns, like the Kritzkrieg, that gives the person you're healing 3 times the damage output. Or the Quick Fix, which makes you heal 3 times as fast. And the Vaccinator Uber, which is useless. Medics are the best class for beginners to play as, because it helps enforce good habits such as knowing how to avoid a sniper. You only have 150 health after all, and one well-placed sniper headshot is enough to stop you dead in your tracks. While you're healing, be sure to pay attention and learn more about the other classes. At this point, Team Fortress 2 is like a decade old, so there's been a decade worth of new content. And so many changes, I can't even think of half of them off the top of my head. Playing a medic as a beginner helps you not only benefit the team, but also learn the insides and outs of Team Fortress 2. Next difficulty tier down, we have the Scout, Soldier, and Heavy. The A tier classes. If you want to start doing damage, the next best places to start in my opinion are these 3 classes. The Scout is equipped with a bat, pistol, and a scattergun. The Scout is the fastest class in Team Fortress 2, and also comes with a nice double jump. The Scout emphasizes speed and getting in there, doing damage, and making a close getaway. He has low health, 125, so he's definitely not going to be taking in huge attacks anytime soon, but when it comes to avoiding damage while on the front line, Scout is simply the best at it. When it comes to playing Scout, getting up close to deal massive damage with the scattergun is the best way to go. Second best is to pick out farther away classes that are on the verge of death with your pistol. And third best is to just smack them up close and personal with your bat. Soldier is generally what people recommend is the best class to start learning Team Fortress 2. He comes with a rocket launcher, shotgun, and shovel. Rockets are good damage dealers from afar, medium range, and especially up close. Just be careful not to kill yourself with the splash damage, and always make sure to have a full clip. Shotguns are generally used when you run out of rockets, but someone isn't exactly dead yet and you don't have time to reload your rocket launcher. Soldiers, despite being placed in the attack category, are good on defense and offense equally. And also have these things called banners. Banners replace your shotgun, and when you deal a sufficient amount of damage with your rocket launcher or shovel, allow you to give yourself and your allies a temporary boost. Whether it be the buff banner's mini crits or the Conqueror's granted ability, which returns damage dealt as health. Soldiers also have the ability to perform what's called a rocket jump. This is what separates new soldiers from pro soldiers. By shooting at your own feet while jumping and crouching all at the same time, you can rocket jump high into the air and land farther away than normal. This gives the soldier great mobility, and mastering this can make your character practically teleport from one side of the map all the way to the other. Mastering this takes a long time, but it's oh so worth it when you can surprise your enemies by landing right behind their defenses. And lastly in A tier, we have the Heavy. Slow and, well, heavy, but supporting the highest health at 300, the Heavy is what keeps your team grounded and rally behind. Every time I see a good Heavy right on the front lines, I know it's the hottest point on the map right now, where everyone's fighting tooth and nail trying hard to win. Heavies are equipped with a shotgun, their own fists, and their bread and butter, the minigun. The minigun is a huge gun that shoots a continuous stream of bullets. Keeping aim right on the enemy while raining lead will no doubt help you get kills. The Heavy is slower when shooting this huge beast, so be mindful of scouts, snipers, and spies. The closer you are, the more damage outputs. When it runs out, switch to your backup shotgun or fists and try to get to an ammo pack as soon as possible. A minigun without ammo is pretty much dead weight, and you're not going to last very long. The Heavy can also get something called the Sandwich. It replaces your shotgun, and when used, it fully refuels your health, and is more than happy to do so again when it recharges. The Heavy is made to be the tank of the team. Whether it's holding the fort down or leading a push, you can never go wrong with a good Heavy. One of which knows where to stand and knows where to, walk. Slowly, I guess. Next difficulty tier down, we have the Pyro, Sniper, and Demo. B tier classes. The Pyro comes with 175 health, a flamethrower, shotgun, and axe. The flamethrower of course sets enemies on fire, but also is used to spy check. I'll get to spy later in the video, but what you need to know is that they have the ability to turn invisible or disguise themselves as one of your teammates. Fire is the best way to their Whenever you suspect a spy is invisible or your teammates seem to be coming from a weird angle, just, fire your flamethrower over them. If they're on your team, they'll be fine, but if not, and they catch on fire, show no mercy. Flamethrowers also have a secondary ability called the Air Blast. The Air Blast launches enemy teammates away from you, extinguishes fires the enemy pyros inflicted on your teammates, and can also reflect rockets and projectiles shot by either soldier, demo, or an engineer's 3rd level sentry right back at them. The timing of an air blast is the key to mastering it. If you time your air blasts correctly, you could potentially send a crit rocket right back at the soldier that shot it, killing them and everyone around them instantly. The air blast is also stupid useful against an ubered enemy. Remember when I said that ubering an ally makes the medic and whoever they're healing invincible? You can waste their 8 precious seconds of uber by launching them away from your teammates. It's high risk, but there's also high reward as you're making it harder for them to utilize the full potential of the uber, all thanks to a well-timed air blast. They can also get a flare gun, which replaces the shotgun and gives the pyro the ability to launch a small fireball far away at an enemy. If they're already on fire, it crits, but if it doesn't, then it catches them on fire. Flare gun's great because it gives the pyro a range option to deal with enemies far away from your reach. The sniper, sporting the same health as the scout at 125, comes with a sniper rifle, SMG, and kukuri. The sniper having low health is best as far away but still in contact with the enemy as possible. Aiming down the scope with the sniper helps you get a closer image of your far away enemies. Staying scoped in increases the damage output of your weapon. And getting a headshot gives you a guaranteed crit. For those of you that don't know real quick, crits are just normal damage times 3. A fully charged headshot deals 150 damage. That's enough to kill a good amount of unoverhealed classes. A headshot deals 150 damage. And a fully charged headshot deals a total of 450 damage. That's enough to kill a overhealed heavy that's being followed around by a medic. The best thing you can do is to take out high value targets, such as enemy snipers, but that also includes enemy medics. The greatest thing you can do as a sniper is to prevent your enemy team from healing and to also prevent them from building uber. The SMG is good for anyone coming at you, but I don't recommend relying on it too much. And I encourage you to instead try out the other alternatives, such as Girade, a jar of piss you throw at enemies, or the Cozy Camper, a backpack that you wear that heals you over time. The Demo Man is a drunkard sporting the same health as the Pyro at 175. He comes with a grenade launcher, sticky bomb launcher, and a bottle for drunken melees. His grenade launcher shoots out pills at an arc, so the best way to use it is to try and arc your shots over obstacles to spam the enemy with damage, or to instead lead the shot as to try and score a direct hit. A direct hit with the pill deals a solid 100 damage. Because of its arc, the demo is sort of difficult, but mastering the arc is the best way to master the demo itself. He also comes with a sticky bomb launcher that shoots out stickies. They're these, little barbed bombs that stick to walls, ceilings, and floors, and when you choose, they detonate and explode. These are great at area defense and denial. Smart enemies are less likely to walk over a path that has these, due to the chance that you might detonate them as they're hopping right over them. They can be air blasted or destroyed though, so they're not exactly invincible. The Demo Man also comes with a side class called the Demo Knight. I like to think it was Valve's crack at making a 10th class for Team Fortress 2. The Demo Knight happens when you equip the Alibaba's Wee Booties or Bootleggers, the Charging Targe, and the Eyelander, either of their two alternates. You basically become a charging sword-wielding knight which only forms of damage are charging right into the enemy and your sword's melee. If it was a 10th class, it would definitely be in C tier. In some cases, I guess the Demo Knight is viable, like when you're picking off low health classes that are running away or charging into a not very well defended area. But 9 times out of 10, you're just gonna get shot at with no options for range. So yeah, not good for beginners. Speaking of C tier, here we have the last two classes, Engineer and Spy. Now, I'm not saying when it comes to these two, don't try them out, but they're definitely more of a learning curve to get than the others. The Engineer comes with a shotgun, a pistol, and a wrench. Pretty weird sounding kit, right? Well, that's because the Engineer also comes with a construction and destruction PDA, which helps build and destroy their bread and butter, buildings. The Engineer is the only class that can build 3 distinct buildings. A sentry, which is stationary and guards a 360-degree area from the enemy team. If any enemy is caught within its range, the sentry locks on and shoots its bullets until it either kills the enemy, it's destroyed, or it runs out of ammo. You can spend what's called metal, which is used to make these buildings in the first place, to upgrade the sentry from level 1 to 2 and lastly 3. This is done by literally hitting your buildings with your wrench. Level 2 sentries sport more health and shoot more bullets, while level 3 sentries gain rockets and have the most health. The second building in an engineer's repertoire is the dispenser, another building which over time heals you and your allies around and dispenses ammo and metal. Heavies love these because they can just sit still and spam away, never running out of bullets as they're always being given away by the dispenser. Level 2 and 3 dispensers heal more and gives more ammo and metal the higher you go. The last building you can build as an engineer is called the teleporter. You get 2 types of teleporters in your PDA, the teleporter entrance and exit. Don't get the 2 confused. You and your allies, when both teleporters are built, can stand on the entrance teleporter and instantly get transported to the exit teleporter. This really helps get you and your allies to where the action is at faster. And when upgraded with your metal, the level 2 and 3 teleporters teleport faster and faster. Now, the bane of any engineer's experience is the Spy. The Spy, when disguised as one of your teammates, can go undetected by your turrets, sneak towards your buildings, and use what's called a sapper to slowly deplete your building's health. When this happens, you have to let your team know that there's an enemy spy around you and either kill the spy with your weaponry or hit the buildings with your wrench to destroy the sapper. You can also heal your damaged buildings by smacking them with your wrench, spending metal to repair their health. Okay, here we are with the last class. To be honest with you, if it were up to me, I would make it so that people have to play at least 100 hours of Team Fortress 2 before even picking Spy. Spy comes with a revolver, a knife, an Invisawatch, a disguise kit, and a sapper. Lots of moving parts with the Spy. He is made to play mind games. He's made to know each part of the map by heart and exploit weaknesses in the enemy team. He's made to sneak past foes and just ruin everything. His Inviswatch turns him invisible for 9 seconds straight. Enemies can detect him by bumping into him or setting him on fire, as mentioned with the pyro. His sapper, as mentioned with the NG, can only be used on buildings, and when it's used, it slowly saps its life away while making it completely useless. His disguise kit turns his model into that of an enemy teammate, allowing him to bypass sentries, and if the spy is good enough, evade careless players that think that he's one of them. His revolver can only be used when not invisible, and when he's disguised, using his revolver removes the disguise. The revolver isn't the greatest weapon and should only really be used to pick at classes with super low health, and while you're running away from an unsuccessful venture. And lastly, his knife. While in a straightforward front-facing encounter, his knife does a pitiful 40 damage. But if the spy is sneaky enough, using his disguises and his other abilities smartly, he's able to go right behind an enemy and perform what's called a backstab. A backstab instantly kills them. Positioning and knowing when to strike is the best way to use Spy, which is why I say he's not the best for beginners and people new to the game. He's super effective against slow heavies, snipers that are scoped in and not exactly focusing on what's going on behind them, and medics focused on healing their teammates. And if a spy is skilled enough, he can also backstab an engineer, and before their sentry turns around and destroys the spy, he can sap all of their buildings with his sapper, completely ruining everything the engineer worked hard for. He's not so great against pyros, however. Typically, you'll want to stay away from pyros. Anyway, that's really how to not suck at TF2. Just practice all 9 classes, and if you're new, check out the medic. TF2, in my opinion, is still a great and rewarding game to get good at. Every class has a high skill ceiling, so you can really only get better and better. Not to mention, right now is the best time to get into TF2. The Blue Moon update and other updates previously, while granted they took ages to get here, really helped improve the experience lately. 2016 and 17 was kind of a rough patch, but man, they're definitely fixing what needed to be fixed. Casual lets you pick and choose exactly which maps and game modes you want to get into. Competitive TF2 used to take hours just to get to a round where somebody leaves during, ruining the chances of anyone to get experience points and rank up. By the way, wait a bit until you try. Honestly, like 200 hours of TF2 until you try out the standard Comp 6 formats. Valve, hurry up and get Highlander here or else I will lose my nut. And while queuing for competitive, you can hop around in a casual server. Shouts out to my streams. That's usually what I do, queued for competitive. It's lots of fun, check it out if you want. Not to mention the weird and wacky game modes, 10 years of TF2 community hijinks has gifted us with so much user and fan created content via all the community maps and game modes you can also access, like versus Saxon Hale, where the entire server works together to take out one guy, the president of Manco. Valve really stepped up their game lately, and I think that the community should more than ever rally behind the 9-class free-to-play shooter and encourage newcomers day in and day out. Anyways, that's my guide on how to not suck at TF2. What'd you think? Leave a comment below and dislike all that hijinks. I tried to not curse as much, and I hope it f***ing shows. Coming up next, I think is going to be more guides. Stay subscribed, check out my links in the description below. I set up a PayPal if you'd be so ever generous as to donate to my back pocket. And hey, if everything goes well, I'll see you all next week. Have a great day. Okay, go back out, back out.
I'm listening.
Go, back out, go for it. You're gonna live, Death Drops! Oh, I got backstab. Oh no. Push him off, Texas. Go for it, Texas, believe in yourself! Good job,
Second in a row! Yeah! What the fuck? Yeah!